WWE Elimination Chamber has just begun, and we've had the first match. It was Alberto Del Rio versus Kofi Kingston. I kind of went into this expecting it to be more or less kind of a TV match, kind of slow, but overall it did actually keep my interest because they changed it up a lot. It was kind of equal as to the time both Kofi and Del Rio were in control, but overall there was a lot of mat stuff, and Del Rio giving that kind of wrestler push where a lot of submission holds were involved, and indeed that ended up being the finish as we saw the tap out from Kofi. Overall enjoyable and not too bad. Kofi with a bit more aggression.
Yeah, I thought this was a great little start to the pay-per-view tonight. I didn't think I was going to enjoy this one much, to be honest, but it was a great match. Didn't have a whole lot of backstory, maybe 2 weeks, and no real legit reason for them to go at it tonight. Fast-moving match, didn't have any real slow spots or holds that seemed to go on for 2 minutes plus. It was fast-paced the whole way. Good offense over and back, I think, for both guys, and some nice hard-hitting spots from both guys. Spilled to the outside for a little bit. Kofi feeling the brunt of that steel steps. I think definitely worked to Del Rio's advantage.
He goes in strong, WrestleMania with or without the title, because he's Del Rio on Edge. It looks like it's set up for WrestleMania. Big Christian return. And we got Lawler.
Exciting moment for a guy like Del Rio to continually be put over. I wasn't sure how well he'd do when he got into the company, and he's sailed all the way to the top and already more legit than a lot of guys who are already a long time now trying to make a name for themselves. So going forward, more Del Rio. Keep that super push going, because it can be as entertaining as the Cena super push, and this is a good example of it. A good entertainer, and that's exactly what we need if it is sports entertainment, and one as well that can maybe push the envelope a little bit at some point in the future. I think overall I'll give it 3 out of 5.
I'm going to give that one 3.5 out of 5. I think it was quite solid, and at the end of it, people did pop for Del Rio, so they're definitely doing something right with him.
So let's talk about the Elimination Chamber. Edge went into this as the champion on that SmackDown brand, and I didn't expect to see him lose it. In this case, we had a very hard-fought victory with great spots from everyone. Of course, initially Drew McIntyre, huge aggression from him as he came in. We had guys like Kane and Big Show. Big Show announced actually by Teddy Long. They were okay, but overall I think Barrett showed a bit more of what he can do in this long spot with just Barrett, Mysterio and Edge, and that went on for quite a good portion of this. I think it was overall entertaining. Now then, of course, you had Kane brought in for the powerhouse, and then Big Show as well as the guy that maybe everybody could throw something at, and they spaced it out well, ending with a long segment with Mysterio and Edge.
Yeah, it really was a battle for that title, and Edge did a great job in retaining. We just seen Alberto Del Rio do a run-in. He's not waiting around.
Del Rio taking it to Edge. They're going to WrestleMania, so why not start it now?
Alberto Del Rio means business, folks.
Very impressive once again, and a long match. Expected it to be long, and now at this point we're up to 10 past the second hour of this pay-per-view, with just that opening match and then followed by the SmackDown Chamber. Overall, again, this one is delivering for me, just like Royal Rumble before it, and as expected, Christian returns. And I'm sure the chat room live here is going crazy. Indeed, we're doing this live on justin.tv and recording the thoughts for YouTube. Christian laying the beat down, and I'm sure our mod Captain Charisma is excited about this one.
I'm sure Captain Charisma is going crazy there.
It's a big return, I think, for both of them. And the WWE just keeps pulling out all the stops the last month or two. They keep building their product better and better. It's really putting the nail in TNA. It was pretty good. It's nice to see her back in action. I only wish her stratisfaction there off the top rope worked out a little better. It would have made her impact a little bit better. You see Layla had to grab one of her legs and put it in spot, but you know, she was wearing high heels, so I'm sure this shit's not easy to do.
Yeah. A lot of people hoped it would be Christian in the chamber, but when he didn't arrive, this is the next best thing.
This is a good spot for Christian, you know. They must have high hopes from him if they're going to bring him back like this. It says a lot, you know.
Rating this chamber match, I think overall, as far as all these ones go, I think this is fairly high up there, and I'm going to go with a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5 for the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match. I'm going to give this one, I think I'd give it I'm going to go 3.5 in this one. I just thought, yeah, it was a really good match. No real slow spots. Everybody was impressive. Unfortunately for Big Show, Kane, Drew, and Wade Barrett, and Mysterio, it wasn't to be their night, as the Rated R Superstar retains and goes on to WrestleMania.
Unprettier on Alberto Del Rio, and this show is over with me. That's all they need to do. Push Del Rio, do things like this. Solid so far, I think.
The phone rang, I had to disappear, right? So I didn't see this yet. So there's a spear by Christian on Del Rio, pounding away on him. Looks pretty exciting. Yeah, you know, he's... Oh, and then... so it's a face plant to Del Rio there of some sort, and big spear by Edge, and yeah, this looks like all good stuff. Too bad I didn't see it right when it happened. I'm just kind of seeing the replay right now. But a big return. We thought he'd be in the chamber, but you know, he shows up anyway. I think we're all glad to see him.
It's up for the Big Show, I suppose, doesn't it?
And all in all, I got to say that, you know, from start to finish, that looked like a pretty solid match. So there's been 2 solid matches on this pay-per-view so far. So far I'm giving it a 2 out of 5 stars. And we'll see what the other matches bring.
So it's over. New tag team champs, Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater of the Core, have defeated Santino Marella and Vladimir Kozlov. Now, I can't remember how I predicted this, but in the middle of it, you know, the thought of the comedy and the fact that someday they might want to put these belts over seems to have led to this victory. And as regards how it went down match-wise, not too disinteresting. I mean, I wouldn't certainly call it boring. They kept it short. Some obvious moments where the guy is trying to get to the other partner and he gets the tag. And overall, yeah, I would say I'd rate this probably 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I mean, at least it was quick. At least the belts are a little bit more legit now that they're in the Core, and it was a good little match. I mean, Santino kept the comedy value down nicely. It wasn't too much of that. Some nice moves out of Justin Gabriel too. He was definitely focused on getting those straps for him and his buddy, the one-man rock band, Heath Slater, who again was impressive too, and led to that slight distraction at the end where Justin Gabriel nails his 450 splash on Vladimir. Now, I thought Vladimir, you know, he's a big enough guy, might have been able to kick out of that one, but it wasn't to be the case for poor Vladimir, as those shoulders stayed firmly pinned to the mat as Justin Gabriel brings it home and brings the gold to the Core.
Tag team belts changing hands, and hopefully, always hoping for a creative renewal of that division. A lot of people in the chat room talking about this now, and most people asking, where is the tag team division? The age-old question. And 91 Kason 01 is asking, where's Tamina? Lil Jabba, the right guys have the tag belts. If you smell what Nexus is cooking, I mean Core. Ministry talking to Dave about predictions, and if you start getting them correct, he says it's a sign that wrestling is going downhill, and it's actually quite true. It's no harm to be wrong and to be swerved, and we've certainly had good returns tonight, and this match in a way kind of benefited from the excitement because we were still kind of a little bit, you know, suffering the high spot in a way.
And we had that match with them already, so, you know, it could have happened already, but it just so happened to be tonight that the titles changed hands. It was only a matter of time.
And we've just seen Trish Stratus once again utilised on this pay-per-view as she came out to assist Kelly Kelly, who came out to dispatch Vicky Guerrero, and Lay Cool involved with this. Some good spots with those three in the ring. I think Michelle McCool and Trish Stratus, probably a good match on paper. I don't think Trish is going to be hanging around though. I think maybe this could be just another one shot.
I think it's probably a handy few quid to get this, although no, I think she's doing her Tough Enough deal, which is a great spot for her, and we'll get her some serious coverage or get her back on TV screens across the world. She still looks great, really, and you know, she
Mania match
for Trish. Well, she showed us that she can still work tonight, so if they're giving her that kind of an opportunity, then maybe will be good timing actually with the Tough Enough deal. But yeah, I'm glad she's back. She does look well. She put a bit of a beat down on Lay Cool, and yeah, I think I'm stratified after that one, to be honest with you.
Exciting stuff as we lead on to Miz v Lawler video packages. I have to ask you that, Drifter. Trish Stratus, I know you did comment a bit on her return, but getting used again, it's nice to see the double shot there.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It's nice to see her back in action. I only wish her Stratisfaction there off the top rope worked out a little better. It would have made her impact a little bit better. You see Layla had to grab one of her legs and put it in spot, but you know, she was wearing high heels, so I'm sure shit's not easy to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But all in all, I mean, you can't go wrong with Trish Stratus.
Certainly not.
You might have seen Miz versus Lawler in the past, and it may well have been a squash match. You might have seen Lawler going down quite quickly, but this was competitive and kept entertaining because, you know, they got Cole involved. He came, stepped right outside his zone from that announce table and started to get involved. A lot of people in the chat room expecting Cole involvement, but maybe more so than what they got. Plenty of time and plenty of stuff to do tomorrow on Monday Night Raw. But overall, I'm glad to have seen Lawler get this match. He got a lot of his trademark moves in, you know, attempts at pile drivers and stuff off the top rope. It was all classic Lawler stuff, and as you said, very much old school.
It was very old school. Only so much Lawler can do, I suppose, nowadays at the age he's at. But he put on an impressive match, I think, for the age that he is. There were times where I thought maybe he actually might take it and walk away with his first ever WWE Championship, but it wasn't to be. I think it'll probably set up a nice little angle, if anything, with him and Cole. Maybe something for Mania for a bit of fun, or just something entertaining for the next couple of weeks between the two of them. He gave it a good shot, but I don't think it was his time, really. I don't think it'll ever be his time, unfortunately. But you know, I think he's done enough to be recognised. He is a Hall of Famer, and he'll always be kind of remembered. Maybe not for being a WWE champion, but for somebody that's, I suppose, done a lot in the business. And there's a lot to be said for that.
Drifter on Skype, you seem to be enjoying this one. You're watching it live as well. Reactions to this one?
That was absolutely probably one of the best matches of the night. Jerry Lawler, you know, showed those kids in the back how to put on a match. That was a really decent match. The ending didn't go the way I thought, but I'm fine with that, you know. Jerry Lawler pulled out the stops. He did some crazy superplex slash brainbuster move off the top rope. That was insane. Yeah, he pulled out all his moves, and he showed that he can go toe and toe with the Miz. You know, I was watching it pretty intently. I thought it was great stuff, and I think everyone in the back there should have paid attention to that.
I suppose I would actually go 4 out of 5. As somebody said in the room, somebody got a good match out of Miz like that. That maybe isn't somebody who's working every single week.
I don't think there's a big surprise there, but it was a pretty solid match and lots of good high spots from John Morrison. You know, I think we're still going to see Punk and Orton at WrestleMania. So, you know, I give the Elimination Chamber maybe like a 4 out of 5 overall as a pay-per-view tonight, which is a lot more than I thought it was going to be.
John Cena has just come out on top after a very lengthy Raw Elimination Chamber match. I think both of us going into this expected Cena to come out on top, but it's how they got there that was actually quite fascinating. You had various pairs put together who have been seen in the past, such as a Morrison and Sheamus, who took up a lot of the slack here. When there were quiet moments, you had those two sort of rejuvenating that feud and bringing that feud back to pay-per-view. When those guys weren't doing much, I mean, to be honest, R-Truth did nothing in this, nothing at all.
They had to put him somewhere, and I suppose they needed some numbers for that match. It makes sense for Cena to go on, I think, and take the Miz on. He is that kind of top-level guy, and, you know, the kids want to see him in a big WrestleMania main event match, and it has to be done. So, you know, I suppose there's a lot worse we could have done with it. I feel sorry for Morrison again. Maybe his time will come soon enough. Good display as always. He always pulls out something fresh. It's never too much of the same. And yeah, he did some really, really cool spots in this match tonight. I thought it was just a little unfortunate that he came up short, but again, it is Mania, and as much as Morrison Miz sounds good on paper, maybe not for WrestleMania. It's the bigger picture now, I think. Going forward into some sort of Money in the Bank pay-per-view, or a couple of months down the line, the time would be right for the two of them, I think, again. But for now, I think, you know, having Cena in the big main event with the Miz will be entertaining over and back as well. And now that we have The Rock involved with everything, it'll only heighten it that extra little bit. So I think overall, good pay-per-view, very, very solid. As you said, I think we got our money's worth. I'd say a solid 3.9 out of 5 from me.
Good show. It was, I suppose, somewhat similar. I would have to rate it, and I would look at maybe 4 out of 5 type rating for a show that really did keep me interested. Now, I've noticed that increasingly lately, that in fact WWE now are putting on good pay-per-views. Somehow they're making it past the kind of maybe safer kind of background of the PG, and how they can't really maybe do too much. Their hands are tied somewhat. But how have they just kept my attention there for the last 3 hours? They've done it very well by, you know, heaping on the surprises. And I mean, it's not too big a surprise, but I mean, if Christian comes back, it's noteworthy. And I mean, there's guys on the sidelines that they can do that with, and you know, always make something kind of worthwhile and make it worthy, make that kind of entertainment spot actually worthwhile, that we sit there and watch it while waiting for the next match. No diva stuff, but Trish Stratus, another return, and that's a good thing. You know, it's always nice to see her back. And then of course that confrontation with Lay Cool. But as you say, going forward, people now in the chat rooms here talking about Cena versus The Miz, and we talked about this weeks back. Everybody was speculating about, are they actually going to do this? And it looks like they are, as you say. I suppose I'll just motor through the comments here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jose Morrison to TNA soon if he doesn't get a title match. These are our live chatters in the Justin.tv room. You can join us every Sunday, Justin.tv/WrestleDope. 9 GMT, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. Tony World Order, I hate Cena, he always wins. And King Rabies could have had Daniel Bryan in that chamber instead of R-Truth. Bo Soxy, this probably sets up a Cena Rock SummerSlam. Phoenix Star, Morrison should have won. Ministry of Darkness, at least Morrison keeps staying on the top of the card now instead of middle card. It's very true, actually. He's managed to hold on to the spot, if you like.
He's laying the ground, you know, and they're doing a good job keeping him up in the kind of top tier bracket, and he's just been constantly impressive, I think, for the last 3 or 4 pay-per-views. From, I think, when he stepped up with Sheamus, that pay-per-view match, from there until now he's just been on a roll, you know. Even if he's not winning titles or if he's not going to WrestleMania, he's definitely impressing people. I can guarantee you that a lot of people who post this show tonight will say the same thing, that Morrison can deliver when he needs to.